number one player on this list is J.J. Watt, the three-time Defensive Player of the Year. Is he the best player in the NFL?
I'm going to say no, and I love me some J.J. Watt, but here's the thing. When you look at Antonio Brown and his body of work, you've got to say he's the best player in the National Football League right now. 375 catches in the last 3 seasons, 31 touchdowns, at least 1 punt return in the last 3 seasons, so he can beat you in 2 of the 3 phases in the game. Antonio Brown, dynamic playmaker for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hard to stop him from getting his. He's the number 1 player in the National Football League.
You know what, Brandon? You actually disappointed me. As a defensive guy, obviously J.J. Watt is my guy, and if I'm starting a team, he's going to be in my top 5. But my number 1 overall guy is Von Miller. And I think for me, I think it's the eye test. You look at what he did in the Super Bowl. He basically won the Super Bowl by himself. Obviously got the contract that he deserved. But you're talking about, and I think I'm saying it from an offensive standpoint, when I know if I'm game planning as a fullback or offensive lineman and I got to go out there and block that kid, it's going to be a long day. So to me, he's the number 1 best player in the National Football League.
So if you're lining up against anyone, you'd rather face J.J. Watt than Von Miller is what you're saying.
I would, yeah, because he can beat you in so many ways. I mean,
wow.
Von Miller. No, J.J. Watt. Now, I'm not taking anything away from J.J. Watt. But Von Miller is a beast. He's a difference maker. He can drop back in coverage, get that interception, take it to the house, move him around the field. I mean, he's a guy that's very disruptive, and to me, he's the reason why he's wearing a Super Bowl ring this year.
Well, he's number 8 on this list, Von Miller, so getting a lot of love. Now, there are only 3 quarterbacks in the top 25 on this list, Chris. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Cam Newton. Is that enough?
No, it's not enough. Russell Wilson definitely needs to be in the conversation. When you look at the second half of 2015, his second half was better than any other quarterback in the National Football League. Last 7 games, 24 touchdowns to only 1 interception. He also ran a touchdown in, so he's just a dynamic playmaker. He hit his groove, establishing that rapport with Doug Baldwin, being able to get that chemistry with him going. Russell Wilson's definitely got to be in the top 25 somewhere.
Now we're just hoping for Jimmy Graham, a little chemistry between those two this season. Tony, what do you think? Russell Wilson, 29th on the list.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed just because, like you said, Russell Wilson is a guy, maybe the stats always don't flash, but he's a guy that, he's not necessarily a game manager, but he's a very, very smart quarterback. He's a guy that you have to obviously game plan because at any point in time he can take off and run. He doesn't throw the interception, so I definitely think he should be a lot higher.
Okay. Rob Gronkowski is number 2 on this list. That is 5 slots higher than quarterback Tom Brady. Chris, is Gronkowski more important to the Patriots than Tom Touchdown?
Absolutely not. That's absurd to say something like that.
Exactly.
There's no player in the National Football League that's more important to his team than Tom Brady is to the New England Patriots, what he does for that franchise. He makes it all go. He's able to get the ball out on time to all of those different receivers. He makes Rob Gronkowski possible, being able to find him in those situations where they create mismatches through scheme and through game plan. So Tom Brady's got to be considered the most important piece on that New England Patriots football team, maybe the most important player in the National Football League.
Tony, what do you think as someone who was not only running the ball but blocking as well? You see Gronkowski's ability to block. It's improved over the last few seasons as he's gotten healthier. Does he deserve to be number 2 on this list?
No way. I mean, there's no way. It's not possible. And obviously I play with some great tight ends like Tony Gonzalez and things of that nature. And the way the tight end position has definitely evolved to where you can split him out, the things he can do when he gets the ball in his hand. But there's no way he could be number 2. My number 2 would definitely be Tom Brady because it all starts with your quarterback. That's the reason why they have so many championships. That's the reason why they go to the AFC Championship game. That's the reason why the Jets and the Bills never make the playoffs, because of Tom Brady. So Tom Brady is my number 2. Gronk could possibly be in the number 10, but there's no way a tight end could be number 2.
What do you think about Aaron Rodgers over Cam Newton? You agree with that, Chris?
Not based on 2015.
There you go.
Aaron Rodgers struggled. He didn't have Jordy Nelson, his safety blanket. Eddie Lacy had the baby bump, so he wasn't running the ball like we're accustomed to seeing him run the ball. So Aaron Rodgers kind of took a step back. And that offensive line struggled too. He got sacked 46 times last year. So it's hard to throw the football to the right receiver when you're not upright. So based on 2015, Cam Newton should be higher than Aaron Rodgers. Cam Newton, well-deserved MVP trophy, 45 combined touchdowns. He brings a lot of different elements to the game, can beat you from the pocket, but also one of those dual-threat quarterbacks, can get out, utilize his legs. Underrated part of his game is being able to convert in those short yardage running situations with those design runs by Mike Shula and his staff, being able to get the ball in between the tackles. He's bigger than most linebackers, so they don't want to tackle him, and you've got extra blocker that's unaccounted for by the defense. So Cam Newton deserves to be in front of Aaron Rodgers.
And he went to Auburn University. So
there you go. I know you were going to co-sign on that one, right?
I'm going to throw a wild card at you here, Tony. Tony Romo, 94th on this list. Does he deserve to be in the top 100 at all?
I mean, I think he deserves to be in the top 100, but I think 95 is just where he needs to be, just simply because he can't stay healthy. I mean, the thing about it, the best quarterback's the guy that's available, and that's the thing, he hasn't been available. So, I think he's warranted to be number 95.